So good evening, everyone. So today I'll be covering the session on GitHub and creating pull request. So I'll be covering these topics today about what is GitHub, and I'll introduce you to the AppLib community in GitHub, and what is a pull request and how to create a pull request. So I hope that all of you have gone through the Git introduction video, because in order to know about pull request creation and everything, you should have at least basic knowledge of the Git commands and everything. Okay, so starting with what is GitHub. So many of you might have already heard about GitHub. So basically it is a Git hosting repository. So it is used to store code, and in addition to storing code, it provides a lot of features. Like let's say if I create a repository, I create some code, developers from all around the world, they can contribute to my repository. They can even find like some issues is there. If some issues or bug is there in my code, they can raise it as an issue, and then they can also like contribute some additional feature if they feel that some particular feature can be a value add to my project. They can suggest that as well by creating a pull request. So here work is organized into repositories where developers can simply create a branch to work on updates, commit changes to save them, open a pull request to propose and discuss change, and merge pull requests once everyone is on the same page. So it's like pull request is the is kind of suggestion, like some changes which one developer can suggest, some value addition or some feature as such. Okay, so it's not like as and when someone suggests, it will be directly merged. So it will take multiple levels of review, after which if the code is found to be stable and everything, and if the maintainers feel that it can be merged, then only then it will be merged to the original repository. Okay, so we have an AppLib community in GitHub. So I'll just show you what and all are available there. Okay. So this is our community in GitHub, Application Library Engineering Group. So like you can see here, we have a lot of repositories already present, and like around 52 repositories are present already. And out of this, many of the like projects development is complete, and they have already been released to Maven. Like Maven is a place again from where you can download this library HAR file, and then you can use it to create some application of your own. So many of the repositories have already been completed, and some still development is in progress. Okay, so as and when you guys start development, a repository will be created for you, and then you can start contributing. So again, it's not like in order to contribute, you need to know some prerequisite, like how to create pull requests. You cannot just directly push into the like original repository, right? So for that, we need to know how we can create a pull request. Okay, so like I said, pull request is used to propose and collaborate on changes to a repository. So these changes are proposed in a branch, which ensures that the default branch only contains finished and approved work. So whenever you're suggesting new change, okay, you can, instead of like doing this change on the main branch itself, you can create a parallel branch like a development branch or something, and then you can add your changes, and then you can submit these changes to the repository to which you want to contribute. Okay, and this repository need to be open, or we should have permission to submit a PR. If there is no permission, we need to fork and clone the repository. So some repositories are like public, it is open, so you can just directly, you know, clone and like submit a PR or anything. But some are private, in that case it won't be accessible. And also, if in case of some repositories as such, if you are a member, you can directly clone and push the code. In other cases, you will have to follow this fork and clone approach. So basically there are two approaches by which you can create a PR. So I'll explain that in the upcoming slides. Okay. Now, creating a PR is important, as we wouldn't want to push to the master branch until code reviews are completed and a teammate approves it. So like I said, it need to be reviewed by some members like the maintainers or the owner. Once that is done, it can be merged to the original repository. So here I'll explain the first approach, that is creating a pull request by forking the repository. So this is the mostly suggested way to do to create a PR in like open source communities and all. So we better stick to this approach. In addition to that, I'll also explain how you can create a pull request by cloning and then directly pushing. That also I'll explain, but this is much more important than that. Okay. So for now, I'll take an example and explain how you can do that. Here in this application library engineering group, so for the demo purpose, I'm taking this particular repo, circular progress view. Okay, so here mostly development is already done. You have some Harmony related folders that have been created here. So here top right, you can see this fork option. Okay, so that is the one which we need to fork. If we need to fork this repository into our GitHub account, we have to use this one. Okay, so once you fork, you will have an option where should we fork. So we can select to our GitHub account. Automatically, it will redirect to your GitHub account and it will create a forked repo in your account. Okay, so here you can see that it is forked from this original repo. So this is like a copy of the original repo. So now this is available in your GitHub account. So now for you to start working on it, you will have to clone this into your local PC and then make changes and do accordingly. Okay, so yeah, so this is the here you will have this repo URL, so you can click on it and then so I'm using Git Bash here. Okay. So I'll just do git clone and then the repo URL. It will clone this repo into your local PC. Okay. So now this repo is available in your local PC. Now there are two approaches. Like now since we have forked the code, it might be possible that you don't need the changes that is done by fellow developers. Like let's say that in this original repo, there will be like a lot of developers will be contributing parallelly, right? So in some cases, you might not require all the changes that is done by them. So in that case, you can just work independently. You don't need to create a link to the original repo or anything. You can just start making changes to the cloned repo, and then you can do the git push commit and then create a PR part. Okay. So now, if at all you need the changes that is done by others to be available to you. Okay. So in that case, we should have some way to connect our forked repo to the original repo. Okay. So, and one more thing is git remote -v. If you do, you will see what is the connected remote repository. So you can see that here, this is the remote repository for your code. Now, the branch. So this is again in the main branch. So in order to link the your repo to the original one, we have this command git remote add, and we will use this name upstream. And then here we have to give the repo name of the original repo. Okay. So in this case, this will be the repo URL. So this URL you have to give here. Okay. Now, if you do git remote -v, you will see that original repo URL is also linked here. Okay. So now, now all these changes, now linking has been done. So let's say that you have cloned, like you have forked this repo yesterday. Okay, you have created a fork of this repo yesterday, and maybe like today morning or something, there will be a lot of changes that has been done by other developers. So what can we do? One way is that maybe you can just delete this forked repository and then fork it again, so that these changes are available to you again. But that is not the preferred way, right? So in that case, we will need to fetch the changes that has been done there in the central repository. So we can use this git fetch upstream. So this will fetch all the changes that has been done in the original repo. It will not affect your local piece, like local code. It will not overwrite or do any changes to whatever like changes you have done locally, but it will just show these are the changes that has been done. Okay. Now let us see what is the latest commit into the local code which I have downloaded. We can use git log command to see all the set of changes that have happened till now. So the latest change that has happened here is this one. README update has been done. This is the commit ID. Okay. So now we need to know what are the changes that has been done as part of the like in the central repository, whichever we have fetched now. So let's say if you want to know what is the changes that has happened as part of like what has happened in this particular branch. So in that case, you can use git log and okay. So we can see that our earlier in the local code base, the latest commit was this one, README update. So in this branch, we have one more commit that is added extra. So this I have added for testing purpose. So you can see this. So this is the latest change. Now, if at all you need to know what is the change, you can just copy the commit ID and do git show and then give the commit ID here. So this is just like demo change I have done. So that's it. Okay. So now you have choice whether you can like you can take this change as well, or you can just ignore this. Like if it's not required for your current development or anything, you can just ignore and then continue making change. For now, if at all you need to take this change, you can do git merge and then upstream test. So since it is on test branch, so now this change has been taken to your local code base. Now if you check git log, you can see the latest change initially was this one. Now we have taken this commit as well. Okay. So now in order to make, now next thing will be your development. Like you will actually start developing or start making some change. So now we will just try to make some README change. So this is the project that we have cloned here. Now inside this README, I'll just, for demo purpose, I'll just try to change this value here. Okay. Now that has been changed. If you check git diff, you will be able to see this was the initial thing, and now it has been modified to this. Okay. Now you can also see git status in order to know which is the file that has been modified. So this has been modified. Now we need to move it to the staging area. So you can use git add and then again git status. It will show us this has been modified and it is in green. So it means it has been moved to the staging area. So next you can commit this. In your case, if your code change or if it is some fix or something, you can explain in a like very short manner what that particular change is for. Now git commit -me. So this is now committed. Now I can push it to my GitHub account using git push origin me. Okay. Okay. So now this has been pushed. Now if you go to your repo, like initially it will show branches even. Now if I refresh it, it will show it is 2 commits ahead. Since I have taken one commit and now I have made another README change, so it is 2 commits ahead. Now you will have this contribute option. You can click on it and you will have the option to open a pull request. So this you can create open pull request. And then it shows that it is able to merge and there is no conflict as such. So here you will have the create pull request option. So here you can give any like update README. So I'm giving here, it's for test purpose. So, and then you can also give some comments regarding what change you have done. and then create pull request. Okay, so now this pull request has been created in the original repo in applib group, circular progressive. Okay, so you can see that in the pull request tab here, your change has been have come here, and here you can see that review is also required. So once the reviews are done and everything, it will be, and if the code does not, code is stable, it is proper and it does not affect the original code functionality, then once it is confirmed, it's reviewed properly, it will be merged to the original repository. So this is how you can create a pull request by forking the repo. So this is the most suggested way, like I said. Now, another way what you can do is by cloning and directly pushing. So, but this require you to have the, to have member permission, only then you'll be able to push it directly. Okay. Else when you're trying to push, it will show permission denied error. So right now I have member permission here. So I'll show how it can be done. So in this case also, we'll just take this as reference. So here, if you click here, the same thing we'll try to do. So here only thing difference is that I'm not trying to fork it. I'm directly cloning it from here into my local PC. Okay. So here, these are all the changes that has happened. Now the next set of procedure is same, like whatever git push origin. I mean, first we have to do git add, then we have to give git commit, and then you can push it. Okay, so that is same. Anyway, I'll just show it. Here also, we'll just try to modify the README. For that, one thing you can do is we cannot directly, instead of directly making changes to the main branch, we can create a new branch, a dev branch, and make changes here. So if you try to see git branch here, initially it would be pointing to the main, now it is pointing to dev. Now all changes you can make in this dev branch and then submit a pull request. So here I just changed it. And so same thing, it is modified. Now you can do git add. So all these commands I've explained in the introduction video, so you can go through that also to get more idea. So once git add is done, we'll see again git status to know if it has been added or not. So since it is appearing in green, it is added. Okay. Now same git commit -m, and then we will just give a meaningful commit message. So in this case, you can give the branch name, git push origin dev, since that is the branch I've created. So since I have permission, now I'll be able to directly create a pull request. Now if I go to the original repo and refresh, I can see this banner will appear. Here you can do compare and pull request. And then like I said, you can give a meaningful description for these two and then create pull request. So again, it's not directly merged to the original repo. Only once all reviews and everything is done, only then it will be merged. Okay, so there will be 2 levels of review, and make sure that code is proper and it is in a working condition before committing to this original, before creating a PR. So now this has been done. So the same thing I have explained here. So first you can do git clone with repo URL, create a new branch so that you don't directly push into main branch or anything, but it's always recommended to create a new branch and do your changes. Now here, in order to check the status, you can do git status. Once it is okay, you can try and see git add. So this will move the files to the staging area. Now again, like we have done here, we'll try to see git status, and files which appear red before will be changed to green. Now you can commit the code using git commit -m and give a meaningful commit message here. Now to push all the updated work to GitHub repo in the form of pull request, run this command origin the branch name whatever you have created. So like I have shown, this banner will appear. You can click on it, and that's it. Now once it is done, this particular pull request will appear in this tab. So you can track whatever is the status. If any comment has been added or anything, you can check in this particular tab and see. Okay, so that's it. Even though I have explained two methods, it's always suggested to use the fork and create pull request in open source. So better always go with that approach. Yeah, so that's it from my end.